So guys, they got an insane amount of WWE Jax figures.
What is up, Best Ones Worldwide? It's the Best One Donnie here, back with a brand new toy hunt video. And we're out in the most magical place in the world, Long Island, New York. We're going to go to Blast from the Past. This will be our third time visiting, except they did move the location, so we haven't seen this yet. But if you're not a Best One yet already, and you want to watch me rebuild my collection, live my nostalgic memories, and go on these toy hunts with me, recommend you to hit that subscribe button now. Turn on the post notifications, because the grind is real. And today, we're going to check out Blast from the Past. So with that being said, let's get it. The grind is real. So guys, right now I'm just looking around, just making my ways before I start getting shots and showing you guys all the cool things. And my God, this place has upgraded. There's a lot to show you, so man, this is gonna be a good toy hunt, so let's get it.
Got a bunch of old WWF VHS that we're definitely gonna be taking a look at. So with these VHS, one of my all-time favorite home videos was this right here, WWF Action, and pretty much like showed like all like the crazy backstage stuff, all the crazy matches. I do have this one, but not in the condition like this, so this is gonna be a really good pickup. What's going on, guys? We are looking here. They have a big magazine section and finding some really cool things here. This is like an old school notebook here. Road Dogg, Undertaker, and even The Rock, which I kind of like that. Like we used to, back in the 2000s, this was always a cool thing where you like move the item and it has like a different picture. Pretty cool. But I think we are only going to pick up one of them, and I think out of all these, gotta go with the Steve Austin. Gotta go with the Steve Austin. So guys, they got an insane amount of WWE Jax figures that we're gonna go through. Found these sick NWO cars, and we're actually gonna leave with this big Papa Bump. Look at that, first thing that caught my eye. Because in case you guys don't know, I'm a Brooklyn Nets, New Jersey fan. So anytime I see something I can add to my collection that's for my team, oh, I'll do it absolutely 1000%. There's Keith Van Horn. See, one thing I never got into, guys, with Nickelodeon is the Ninja Turtles. But they have a really cool selection here, a bunch of stuff. Sexy boy. We're back from Blast from the Past, and I do apologize for not having the best footage here. There was a lot of loud copyright music going on, so I do apologize for not really having the best footage here. And the new location just really had me stargazed. Like, I was blown away. Like, I didn't think, like, they could... Like, every time I go to the store, it just gets better and better. I love going to Blast from the Past, but we're back at the studio, And if you guys haven't checked out the big event haul, highly recommend checking that out, or even the big event vlog over on We Are Wrestling. But let's show you guys all the cool things that we picked up, because we have a whole box here. But some of the things that didn't fit in the box, we'll start off here with this NWO Scott Steiner car. They had like 4 different ones of these, but I decided to go with this because I think I'm going to put this in my NWO display here. I thought that this was a really cool like little collector's piece that I could add to the collection here. Moving on, we do have a New Jersey Nets bobblehead. And it's Keith Van Horn here, former New Jersey Net player here. And anytime I see something that's Brooklyn, Nets, or New Jersey, I usually, 99% of the time, will pick it up, especially for a good price. And that is what we have here. Gotta love that. I'll be adding that to my sports shelf. And I thought that this was a really cool item that I found, which is this here, this nice little binder. I used to have this as a kid, so it's like this old like WrestleMania here, except I didn't have any of the pictures from back in the day, so like I have all these just filled with like different pictures and stuff, which is so cool. And it's got like little like they got their name, like a bunch of facts and stuff. But I used to have this binder, so like as soon as I saw this, like I knew like this was coming home with me. Moving on now to some more memorabilia stuff we got while we were at Blast from the Past. I picked up this WWE magazine. This is the edition when Goldberg made his WWE debut. I thought that this was a really cool one here. I always like to have like some unique ones, and one reason I wanted to get this was in case big event New York or like a wrestling convention or a Comic-Con I go to does actually bring Goldberg in. I would actually like to get this signed by him. I think that this would be a really cool item. Nice little piece. So I thought that for the price, couldn't go wrong with it. And yeah, if we ever get to meet Goldberg, this would be a very awesome item. And we also picked up this Stone Cold notebook here. I thought that this was so freaking cool. If you like move it right there, there you go, you got the skull. But then if you go down, you can see Stone Cold's face right there. Thought that that was really freaking awesome. They had a bunch of these like notebooks here, but I just wanted to pick one, and I went with Steve Austin here. Thought that this was a really cool item, because around the Attitude Era, like they really like made a lot of awesome, different, unique items. Which, speaking of unique items, I know that this is not wrestling related, but I'm sure I'll show it in my next Nickelodeon haul. I got this Game Boy cover here of SpongeBob. I thought that this was really cool, so we did pick that up as well. And we did get a bunch of VHS, because I've been getting myself back into collecting them. And it's more of the documentaries, not the pay-per-views or anything. But starting off here, we have probably my favorite one growing up, and that is here, WWF Action, which I did pick this one up at some booth, but not the best condition. This one is literally perfect. So I did upgrade that, so very excited to add this Action VHS to the collection. Moving on now to our next one, we have here WWF's Funniest Moments, and I thought that this was really cool. Like, man, the VHS, like, these, like, were so fun watching back in the day, and I just love the covers to all these, so it's always cool to, like, find these at, like, these, homegrown stores. And we do have a Lita one right here. Lita, It Just Feels Right. Which this would have been a pretty cool item to actually get signed by her when I met her at Big Event. But honestly, I'm not going to get into that because, yeah, we don't need to. And they made this WWF Andre the Giant documentary here, Larger Than Life, which I never knew they made this. Like, I like to pick up ones that I also know I didn't have in my collection growing up. So I thought that this was a really cool one. Moving on to our next VHS, we have a D-Generation X. And I had to because of the friggin' cover there with friggin' Shawn Michaels friggin' naked, but has like the Winged Eagle Championship like around the private. Man, I friggin' love this cover. Thought that this was a really cool piece. And finally, the last one we have here is a Triple H and Chyna. Greatest moments here. It's our time. I thought that that was a really cool find as well. We got a bunch of wrestling media here that we're going to be adding to our shelf. But I already know what you guys are here for, and that is all the Lucy's. We got a lot of freaking Lucy's on this table. Probably one of the most that we've had in a very long time in this haul. And, like, the prices at Blast from the Past, man, are amazing. Plus, shout out to, like, the owner of the store, because he did really give us, like, great deals on all this, and I couldn't believe what the total was. Oh, man, this is going to be everywhere. So our first one we have here is a WWE Ruthless Aggression. I believe this was Series 8.5 or Series 8, if I'm not mistaken. We got a promo attire Christian, and this Christian I really liked growing up because for some reason, like, even when I was a kid, I loved promo attire figures. I don't know what it is, but this Christian was one of the first ones that really stood out to me, so I saw this and had to pick that up. Moving on now to our next WWE Jakks figure, we got John Cena here, and he's got the U.S. Spinner title, which, yeah, I like the way that they did the U.S. Spinner on the Jakks figures. I think it does look a little better than the Mattels, but I believe this is like a Great American Bash one. I know my buddy Casual Cam actually had the figure in package, but I'm kind of glad that I did find this out of package for the price I got it. He's got the word life painted on wristbands there. He's also got the football jersey here, which I do like as well. So there's a cool little Ruthless Aggression Cena. Moving on now to our next Jakks figure here, we have a Hardcore Holly. Don't know what series, but this is more of like his ECW run towards the end here. Which I will say, one thing, like with Jakks, they really did a good job on Hardcore Holly figures. Even the Bob Holly Classic Superstars, Sparky there. But this is a good, underrated figure. So I wanted to add a Ruthless Aggression Hardcore Holly to the collection. I think I would have preferred having the black and the red tights, but honestly, I'll take it. But moving on now to our next figure here. One of the more older ones. We have a Billy Kidman here. And this is like the early like Ruthless Aggression figures that were coming out. And like Billy Kidman, one of the most underrated cruiserweights out there. And yeah, this is a great friggin' figure, even though like the head sculpt doesn't look like him at all. And I like the one that came with Paul London. I just love the gear choice here, and I figured I would add this version of Billy Kidman to my collection. Alright, what other Jakks we have here? We got a lot of them, and we only did find one half of them, and I am going to be really trying to find this Bubba Ray to go with it. We got Devon Dudley here in the yellow camo. This is, I think, his last figure before leaving WWE. They didn't have Bubba, but we did pick up Devon here. And this was probably one of my favorite Dudley Boy figures that were out during the time. Like, I freaking love the Dudleys. So there it is, man. We got good old Devon here. And another figure here that I thought was a really cool pickup. We got Ultimo Dragon here. Which this one was a little bit more pricier because it is harder to find Ultimo Dragon figures. But one that I felt like I needed because he did wrestle from like 2003 to 2004 in the WWE, which I am hoping to like get that Legends of Lucha Libre one to add to my WCW shelf, but figured this would be a good Ruthless Aggression one. Alright, moving on, we do have here Shawn Michaels, and I remember this figure getting it when it first came out, and it does have the flocked chest hair, which I love that like Jakks was always out of the box here. But I figured this would be a really cool Shawn Michaels to represent my Ruthless Aggression shelf. And I felt like his figures were very underrated during its time. Moving on, let's see. We have, ooh, this is a good one right here. We got Festus and Biscuits and Gravy, man. Biscuits and Gravy. Which I think, need to find a Jesse to go with it. But Festus, man, can't go wrong with it. Very underrated character. I'm surprised, like, when Luke Gallows was signed to a WWE deal, they didn't add this to, like, the Ruthless Aggression series. I'm very surprised. They could have definitely done, like, a Build-A-Figure or something. Let's see here. Ooh, moving on, we do have one of the later Jakks-specific figures. We got Tommy Dreamer here. And yeah, this is a funny looking head sculpt. But I thought that this was cool. Like, I really wanted a Tommy for my collection. Originally, I was going to go with the ECW Series 1, but I kind of like this one. It's different. He friggin' looks like he is, like, on, like, cocaine or something. So, there's good old Tommy. And then, we do have one in the bag here, and this is Billy Gunn. I don't remember who he came with, but I know he was in a 2-pack. And I don't have a Billy Gunn to represent this time, so now we finally do. So there it is. We got the badass Billy Gunn, man. Underrated head sculpt, too, for its time. Also, speaking of Billy, we got Chuck, except this is Chuck Palumbo. This is his biker gimmick around 2008. I think that this was also in a 2-pack with like a Michelle McCool during its time. But Chuck Palumbo, another underrated guy, which, great figure. Really enjoyed that. Moving on now to our next Jax figure we have here. Let's get him out of the bag. And that is Santino Marella, which I've been wanting one, Jax specific, for my collection. And I really like this one with like the track coat here. Like with even though it does have generic gear, like I do like the track coat on him. So that's the reason why we decided to go with this Santino. Only if they gave him the unibrow, like that would have been perfect. But moving on, we do have another Jax. Well, we got a lot of Jax-specific figures, man. We got this Jonathan Coachman, and this is him in his wrestling attire here, which I thought was a really cool figure. And I didn't have this one like on my list. And when I saw this, I was like, wow, I remember having this Coachman figure. So, very excited to have a wrestling Coachman in my collection here. Definitely excited to add him to my Ruthless Aggressions. Thought that was a really cool find. And then, I couldn't believe this. This is probably one of my... I'm saving these for last. I'll save those for last. But, we did pick up a regular Ruthless Aggression Chris Benoit figure. I don't have one to represent my collection, which, I decided to go with 2004. This is like his Royal Rumble attire. The one I really want is that WrestleMania 20, which, yeah, there's no way I'm finding that. I've been having it on my save searches, and, yeah, very, very hard to find. But I did have it back in the day in my collection, but this one will do for now. I do like that it is a 2004 Benoit. I don't respect the person, but he was one of the best wrestlers, which is why we are adding him to the collection. And moving on now to our next figure here, which I felt like Mattel, they should have given us this. We got Great American Bash 2004, Tori Wilson. This is probably one of my favorite Tori figures that have ever came out, and one that I'm surprised we never got in Mattel form. But one I really couldn't pass on, especially like having like the accessories in the condition that they are. I thought that this was a really cool find. And finally, I have to save the best Jax-specific ones for last, and that is the Funaki, which this was like a internet exclusive figure at the time. Hard to find. I did have this as a kid. But it was this 3-pack, and we actually do have the two guys here that were with him. I don't remember the names on the top of my head. I just know that this was Jimmy Wang Yang before he was Jimmy Wang Yang. And we have this other guy here. Don't remember the names, but I remember this being like a really rare 3-pack back in the day. And Funaki didn't really have like that many figures during the time. And as a friggin' crazy wrestling fan, I needed it. So there it is. We got Funaki, and like we got more miscellaneous Ruthless Aggression figures. I would love for them to make a Elite Funaki though, like Attitude Era. I feel like that'd be wicked cool. But now let's get into some of like the Titantrons and R3s that we got. Starting things off here, I picked up this Stone Cold Steve Austin R3, which the R3 tech, they're either like hits, there's big hits, or there are big misses. And I don't know, like I really like this attire that Stone Cold is wearing. Even though I feel like it is a little too small here, I figured, I'll just get it and throw it in my crowd. I can always use crowd members, and I like to put figures I like in the crowd. And finally, we have another Chris Benoit figure, and this one is a Titantron, which doesn't have the metal plate there, but it pretty much has like the same style figure. So we are going to add this to our Titantrons here. Another solid figure here. But I would love to have that WrestleMania 21. But there it is. We got Titantron Benoit. And we also did get Ivory, which I'm surprised this is one of her only figures. I feel like she needs to get on a Legends deal. And we need to get a rights to censor Ivory. Like, I would love that for my Attitude Era collection. But there it is here. One of her only figures. Which now we can finally add to our collection here. And now, let's get into a couple of the Bone Crunchers we found out in the wild at Blast from the Past. Starting off, we got Double J Jeff Jarrett. And the reason I had to pick this one up, way better condition than the one I have in my shelf currently. And he also has the glasses, which is extremely hard to find these days. So there's good old Double J. Then we also did pick up a Psycho Sid, man. Which I'm surprised I don't have this one in my collection already. So I definitely saw this and I immediately had to pick that up. And then finally, for the Bone Crunchers, we also have the New Age Outlaws, which I'm surprised I don't have them either in my collection, because I try to get like one of like every character. So we do have Road Dogg and Billy Gunn, and we get some added value with the Jax titles that we don't really care about. So there's good old New Age Outlaws. So now let's show you guys the Mattel figures we picked up from Blast from the Past. Starting things off, we picked up an NXT basic figure because he was supposed to get an Elite and they unfortunately canceled it. And that is Kenta, who in WWE was Hideo Itami. So we picked up his basic figure here. I'll probably throw this in like the back of my NXT shelf, just to add some more character depth in there. Hideo Itami, very underrated. And can't believe Kenta was in WWE for a short time. And he did come around the same time as Finn Balor. So there it is. We got a Kenta figure, which can't go wrong with that. Moving on now to another basic here that was a part of a battle pack with Titus O'Neil, which I do have the Titus, but I don't have Darren Young, which here it is, man. We got Darren Young now, so we do have the Prime Time players, which is very good. I'm probably just going to honestly throw a shirt on him and throw him into the crowd here. But another very solid figure. Just got to meet Prime Time players at big event. And then we also do have a Classic Elite here. And I know they're probably going to throw him in like a Greatest Hits or whatever, because he's still under a WWE contract. We got an old Elite Sheamus figure. And, man, Sheamus, not the biggest fan of him now, but during this time, when he was going after John Cena for the WWE Championship when he first debuted, I loved Sheamus in 2009 and 2010, so this is why I decided to pick this up. One of my favorite early Mattel figures back in the day, because, man, Sheamus, there's people that were, like, I had custom Sheamuses before, like, he actually came out. So, like, I remember Christmas getting this. I was so freaking happy. And for, like, $7, man, like, this condition, unbelievable. Couldn't believe I found this for that price. So I definitely was not going to say no to it. So there it is. And we also even get the accessory, some added value there, and even the chain, too, which is cool. Celtic one. And then we also do have some women figures as well that are Mattels that we don't have in our collection, surprisingly. And starting off, we have Michelle McCool. Surprised we haven't gotten an updated one at all, like an Elite or something, because Undertaker and her, I think, are both on WWE Legend deals. So there's that here, Michelle McCool. Definitely a solid pickup. Now I do need to find a Layla to go with that, because I think she has like basic probably in the Mattel wave. Then we also do have Melina, which I will be meeting pretty soon at New England Fan Fest. One of her early Mattel figures here. Another one I wish that we would get like MMM Elite. I would love that. This was a little bit like after that time when she was going for the Divas Championship. Then we also do have Eve Torres. Another very underrated women's wrestler in the early 2010s here. Another very solid figure. One of her only figures, too. And finally, to end off this haul, we got a WWE Elite Kelly. And I don't have a Mattel one in my collection, so I definitely decided I needed to add this one. Love the teal gear and everything. One of the early Elite figures, great condition. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to smash that like button now. If you're not a best one yet already, recommend you guys to hit that subscribe button now, turn on the post notifications. Really helps the channel grow because these toy hunts, they are not cheap. Links down in the description box below. You can go follow me over on my social medias, and We Are Wrestling, where you get the best pro wrestling content. All the links down below, and of course, to all the best ones out there worldwide, we are taking over. Peace.